in 1968, there were Jerry Rubin and other hippie and yuppie political leaders. So he becomes one of them, and more of the voices in his head are getting wilder and wilder. And he has a girlfriend who is teaching in Rome, and she's blind, she's black, and she's a performance artist. So she has idealism in completely other directions. Like her idealism is all about creative things and what's in your head and not worldly. But she's also a magic character in the book. There are two of them. There's her. Her name is Beatrice Strega Santa Madragiore.
From Italy.
Well, from wherever magic characters are. What she does is get him involved with one of her students who's a Jewish girl so that they can get married, and she kind of oversees the pregnancy to lead to the child, because that's the sense of like how the generations can continue with idealization of perfection, like what it means to perfect something. So some of the focus in this book is rearing the child toward perfection, but everybody in the book is totally crazy in their own way. And what happens is that Jack, this character who is trying to develop the ideal human being, becomes something I made up, a genetic anthropologist. And keep in mind, I finished the first draft of this book in 1985. So all of the ideas I had about genetic manipulation, I published at that time this book, Homo Futurus, which it's a creative book, but the journal entries in it are about the ideas of perfection and genetic engineering. So I was pretty early in that. So what he begins to do is use the child's DNA. What the mother starts to do, since her name is Caroline, since she's a failed artist, she, her teacher gave her to her own boyfriend in order to have kids, is abuse the child and make her perfect in her way. Faster, smaller, harder. These kind of behavioral things. And then the artist, who was related to both of them, the teacher of one and the girlfriend of the other, becomes the godmother, right? Which is, of course, always, if you didn't know it from the beginning, you know it at the godmother point, that there's something supernatural there. She takes her, when she becomes 15, to Rome and seduces her. And they meet the devil character, Toto. So your question was, why did I call it Wish for Amnesia? It's that, like throughout a lifetime, we've encountered so many horrors. And I call them horror-cides, not just genocide and all those, but horror-cides.
We want to forget that.
When Caroline gives birth, she discusses the question of how much the child will be like her and how much it's a girl child, will be like Jack, and then what does it mean? He names her Jewel. The father wants to call her Jewel. And the mother had names like Robin and little sweet names, but she gives okay to Jewel. But when she sees it in print, she sees that the name has the word Jew in it, and it's for all of us, it jumps off a page. It just jumps off a page, like your own name or the word fuck. Like you see a whole page of type, and that's the word that comes up. So as she's giving birth, she begins to wonder if it's a religion or if it's a ethnicity or if it's a history or what the hell it is to be Jewish. So she goes through all of the questions, while she's also waiting for her husband to come in and not bring her any presents and not, all these ideas are without making speeches in the book, just to have people think different thoughts while things are going on. And I've written millions of drafts. It's a trunk full of drafts, and even the published version, it's like dark skin, kind of creepy skin. The first one was white. The second one was tiny bit of tan, and it started to have a little bit of looks like damage printed. And then the next one was darker. And this isn't even quite the final one, but I may go back to a lighter tone.
Okay.
This is we're still calling them galleys because I can't stop writing them.
But at what point does the book end? Is it like the book is the child is?
It ends. In Rome, they meet the devil character. His name is Toto, and he's a taxi driver.
And how old is the child?
15.
15.
Good age to be seduced by your
best point.
Yeah. It's just a I mean, there are many. I find certain ages to be very pivotal. 4, and that's actually when we first meet the mother character, when she's 4 years old, and she's on the playground. This is the picture from that chapter, with her mother, who's also very harsh. Don't lean against me, go play, that sort of thing. So I set her up to be an abusive parent later. And she meets on the playground what we call a foil in literature. A foil is a character that's opposite your own personality.
Oh, okay.
So you can see how personalities develop.
Yeah.
And what happens is that that they go with Toto, the taxi driver, up the Gianicolo. Have you ever been to Rome?
Yes, one time, but I don't remember much because I was young then.
Well, there's 7 hills.
Oh, even that I don't
Rome.
remember.
Well, that's a famous thing about Rome. There's 7 hills of Rome.
Okay.
And there really are hills. You could walk down.
Oh, okay.
One of the oldest neighborhoods is called Trastevere, which means across the Tiber River.
Okay.
And that's where Toto lives. And the Gianicolo, when I went to school there, was not developed, and it was the Lover's Lane. Now, I was just back there last February, and it's got a lot of houses on it. It's you can still overlook, but at that point you could see all the other hills and down into Trastevere and across into the city, and there are pools of light that kind of circle the other hills.
That's beautiful.
And Beatrice regains her sight.
Okay.
A miracle of hers.
Yeah.
So I get to describe what vision is and all these other kinds of things, and she ascribes this miracle to Toto, the devil. So they accompany him to a shack he has on the beach in Ostia, which is a beach town that was also not developed when I was in school,
Yeah.
but is developed now. And they engage in sex, but the child swims out into the beach.
On purpose.
Yeah, she doesn't quite want to deal with them. They don't want to deal with her.
Oh, okay.
She's trying to, figure out what's going on. She goes swimming. She swims and swims and swims and swims. And she has a kind of mystical experience as she's somewhat drowning. She manages not to drown. There are things that come through the book. There's some twins, some ships, some little things like that. So these things kind of come back from the little salt and peppering of them in the book. And this is the photo that she thinks she's getting onto a ship that takes her to land.
Yeah.
And she finds her way into a cave, which actually don't exist in Ostia. They exist in southern Italy, but it's fiction.
Yeah.
So what happens is that Toto, Beatrice is a little bit concerned.
Yeah.
So he promises her that he'll go look for her. So he leaves Beatrice. This is in the morning. The dawn is coming up. Beatrice is asleep on the blanket on the beach. He goes along the beach to the northern cove, to search for Jewel, who is half buried by the sand. And he finds her and he rapes her. And he picks her up over her shoulder, and he, like a caveman, and he takes her back to the shack. Beatrice is gone. And his taxi is gone.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
She had been blind, but when she went up the mountain, she was asking him questions about the car when they drove to Ostia.
Okay.
Car's gone, Beatrice is gone. And he's got this girl on his hands. And she can't remember anything. She had just had this traumatic experience. She had said at a party for her father, who I forgot to mention, rose through politics in his messianic way to become Secretary General of the United Nations, right?
Okay.
In a position, that means in a position to implement his ideas for perfection of the world.
Okay.
Right? But keep in mind, he's working with genetics, and he had been playing around with the search for extraterrestrial life. So he gives a speech at that party called Homo Futurus, my character, in the transmillennial century from the liberate 1943, 44, 45, the summer, I think of 45, I have to look, the liberation of the camps and the dropping of the A-bomb. That's when my century started. Okay. Right?
Yeah.
And what I see in this book, and what he sees in a 100-year span, which would be 2050-ish, 2045, is the genetic manipulation of the human being and the meeting of from the other planets. But of course, he's trying to sew the genes together to create this new thing. So he gives a speech. Beatrice had the party for it, and everybody who was his supporters are suddenly horrified. And Jewel, the girl, is kind of caught in between everything. And she says to Beatrice, I wish for amnesia. Okay? So Beatrice, being mystical, might have been the one to have made this happen.
Yeah.
She caused the conception of Jewel in the first place by her boyfriend and her, you know, and she may have just caused the conception of Jewel's pregnancy from the rape, right?
Ah, she's pregnant from that. Okay.
She becomes pregnant with that.
Okay.
Of course, you don't know this until, like, you're asking how it ends.
Yeah.
So what happens? So we're at the point where Toto returns to the shack. Beatrice is gone. The car is gone. He's got this girl over his shoulder. What is he gonna do? So he decides that he should just, like, you know, telefono la papa. Il papa, call the father.
Yeah.
He's an autograph collector, right? Because I do a lot in the book with identity based on faces, hands, and handwriting.
Okay.
And he not only collects autographs, he forges them. And he is, you know, a magical character and the devil. He can forge a signature in a way that will make him become the person and take on all of the attributes, the powers, etc. Okay? So, so Jack is the Secretary General of the United Nations and a crazy person that has all this stuff. So he can't ever leave his briefcase at home. Okay? He goes, he gets the phone call. He's invented the Rubin computer to do all this between the 60s and the 80s when computers were being invented in different ways. He was at Princeton University at that point, from Columbia. And he's able to ascertain that this person who's forging his own everything is who he says he is. And he goes to collect his daughter. And he knows she's with Beatrice. He really would like to see Beatrice again. He comes down the ramp, which is always, you know, a symbol of decline. In English, D-E-C-L-I-N-E, decline, descend. Come down the ramp. So he's coming off the plane, looking for them, and he doesn't see Beatrice. He doesn't see Jewel. He doesn't know what Toto looks like, except for the pictures that showed up on his Rubin 2 computer screen. He takes a very long time coming off the ramp. The workmen are trying to get him out of the way. He comes down the ramp and he's shot. Who shoots him? Well, I've set up just about every character in the book to be possible. But there's also a black-white theme that runs through it. The foil character is named Schwarzweiß. Is Letitia Schwarzweiß. And she's not only a foil for Caroline, the mother, she's the foil for Beatrice. Beatrice and Leatrice being, you know. So it could have been Letty, her name is Letty. It could have even been Caroline herself working the various things at his computer. But it's most likely Beatrice because one of the things Beatrice does is change costumes and outfits, and as a performance artist, take on many characters. And the day is the day after Christmas. Well, the day after Christmas in the Rome airport was, and I believe in the Paris airport too, it was a terrorist attack by Palestinians. The 27th, December 27th, 1985, terrorists attacked 2 airports and Halley's Comet neared the Earth. So the comet's been part of the story all along in its own way too. But the comet, Halley's Comet, heralded the birth of Christ, right? So I have all those things happening on the day he's shot. And the nuns, the nuns are albino nuns, right? Which definitely could be Beatrice because we're changing from black, totally black to totally white. And Toto is getting frantic. Where's Jack to pick her up? and he hears a commotion. You know, he hears a shot, he hears a commotion.
Yeah.
He goes to look. The Mother Superior takes Jewel and whisks her off. And from the skies over Italy, the convent plane through the airspace of many lands. Jewel and the nuns looking down could see many transports leading to many encampments billowing rancorous smoke. Savior, the Holy White Mother Superior said, her palm on Jewel's belly, as the shadow of the plane crossed a load of captives, disgorging before the gates of a muddy encampment. The buzz of the plane overhead caused a momentary distraction of the guards' attention, and a few teenagers managed to escape.
Yeah, beautiful. Really nice. This is the last. This is the comet?
No, see, these photographs I took with no relation to the book whatsoever. The only time I had the book in mind when I took it was for this. I went to Indiana, and there's a scene that I didn't bother describing because in a way it's an adjunct to the plot, but it's called Incident at the abandoned farmhouse or derelict farmhouse. I'm very bad at actually quoting my words. Jewel becomes scarred and destroyed, and her face is changed, and bad things happen. So I had that in mind when I shot this, but none of the others. All the other pictures were just taken as part of my regular 35mm surreal photography portfolio.
Really nice.
And these were all taken, except for these two, which I shot a long time ago, and I made prints in gelatin silver as well. Everything else was taken since 2006.
Okay.
This one was the first of these. I had an installation show of distorted photographs on mylar hanging from 40-foot ceilings in Beijing, China. So
nice.
Afterward, it was great. I took a taxi for 2 hours to a little town called Huairu, a little village, to kind of decompress. And this is one of the photos I shot from the window. And the next year, I had a show for a month of cartoons, existential cartoons, cavemen and snake psychiatrists and things like that in Moscow. So this is Russia. I shot this. This is Dostoevsky's summer home, Fyodor Dostoevsky.
No, I don't
Crime and Punishment.
know. No, I don't know.
I don't know the German. Brothers Karamazov.
I don't know.
You don't read literature?
Not that much, no.
Okay. Well, maybe the most famous Russian fiction writer.
Okay.
Not alive now.
Anymore, no.
And I don't know the century, but
I like those 4 pictures the most. The last 4.
The car, yeah. This is these are somewhere in the United States, between New York and the Midwest, and this is going north from Montreal to Quebec.
Those two fit perfectly together. It's really really nice. And even though those other 2 peoples at the other side, they are perfect contrast, but light and dark, and still being like the same. Being in the car and driving around. This one is sunny, and this one is rainy. This one is light, this one is dark, and still they have something in common. You both see that they're shot through a window, and they all have this mirror from the car, and I think they are really beautiful.
Thank you very much. They're not manipulated. They're
Yeah.
straight. These are the edges of the photograph.
Yeah.
Exactly as I shot it. I'm very fast, and I twist the camera in different ways to get the composition I want.
Yeah.
And they're pretty clean. Like there's no, other junk in the
distraction.
photographs.
Really like it.
Thank you very much.